Are you struggling to motivate your team during a major change? Did you know that a poorly crafted vision statement could actually be one of the biggest roadblocks to actually successfully implementing that change? Hello, I'm Eugene with the Dilan Consulting Group, CEO, founder, and basically what we do is help executives to build their teams and shape their organizations. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit about transformation, change management. I'm going to give you 6 steps that hopefully will help you to move forward a whole lot more effectively. So again, whether you're leading a digital transformation or you're trying to improve the company culture, I want to focus in on how a compelling vision is really the differentiator. It's going to give you that North Star that's going to help you to drive the change in a way that is most successful. So step by step, let's start. The first step is understanding why the vision matters in the context of change management. So, a change management vision is a lot more than just a few words on a piece of paper. Honestly, it's the rallying cry. It gives people clarity. It helps people to feel certain when they're uncertain. When there are decisions to be made, they can go back to that vision and they can say to themselves, does this fit or does it not fit? Honestly, I can't say enough about how that vision statement can help to rally the troops, align people, and it's going to help you to move forward. And if you don't have it, don't be surprised if your initiative just falls flat. All right. So I'm going to give you a little example of this to hopefully keep you engaged at this conversation. Think about Netflix. All right. They had a compelling vision statement that was very specifically becoming the best global entertainment distribution service. So they went from DVDs, they started off streaming, and now they're even creating content. That vision statement is one that has sustained them over time, all right? And so, again, to be really clear, a great vision statement can help you to adapt quickly so that you can maintain industry leadership. Step number 2, engage stakeholders early, and I want to say engage them often. When you create a vision statement in a vacuum, what happens is it's your statement, and so if it fails, it's your failure. When we create it together, it is our vision statement, and we want to be invested in seeing our ideas be successful. And so you need to really work hard to get buy-in from all over your organization, not just the leaders. You don't want the leaders locking themselves in a room and then pushing it down, because that's going to create resistance. What you want is you want people on the shop floor, you want frontline people, you want admin, you want people from every function, you want everybody involved, perhaps even your customers, perhaps even some of your strategic partners. All of this involvement is going to help you to get a better vision and one that connects with people, where people are going to see their thumbprint, and so they're going to buy into it. So a great example of this is a nonprofit that we worked with some time ago. They had 5,000 volunteers all over the country, a pretty sizable staff as well that was located in multiple locations. And what we did was that we did some interviews. We created some surveys based on the content from those interviews. Then from there, we went and we did some focus groups with the data from those surveys. And what we ended up doing, again, was getting some really good insights into what it was that was going to help this organization to be successful going forward. So we got a lot of buy-in, and so what happened was, I think at the end of the day, people began to own and move this initiative forward in ways that I cannot say that I had even imagined from the beginning. So to ensure that you have a robust vision statement and one that builds trust and ownership from the outset, you must include everyone, or as many people as possible. All right. The next step is this. You want to craft a vision that actually drives the change. So we're talking about vision in a very generic way, but now we're getting to the brass tacks. What are the actual words in a piece of paper? So here are 3 pointers for you to consider in terms of being able to craft a vision statement that is compelling. Number 1 is it needs to be aspirational. And what do I mean by that? I mean I mean that it needs to be something that actually stretches people. It needs to be something that people can actually visualize, not something that's going to demoralize them because they're going to have a sense that they can never get there. So number 2, which builds on that, is that it actually needs to be actionable. You need to be able to create a step-by-step path so that people can see, if I do A, then B is going to happen. If I do B, then C is going to happen. They need to be able to see how these step-by-steps are actually going to move them along in terms of achieving what that vision is. Thirdly, and very importantly, is that your vision statement actually needs to be aligned with the organizational values. If you don't, you're going to have some resistance because people are going to say, this is not who we are. And so somehow it needs to be reconciled. And so you have to ask yourself, does our vision statement actually check these boxes? And if not, you need to step back and you either need to do some work around, are those values still the right values? Or you need to say, we need to tweak the vision statement so that it conforms to what our values are in this organization. So let me give you some examples of good vision and bad vision so that you have that to kind of test yourself against. One really good vision statement is, I think, to revolutionize healthcare delivery to improve lives every day. As you can see, that's actually something that you can measure. That is something that people can kind of, I think, rally around because people who work in healthcare probably want to help people. And so here's one that is quite bad. To be a leading company in our industry. What does that mean? It means absolutely nothing. Leading in what way? Are you someone who's leading because you have the most people? Are you someone who's leading because you have the best ideas? Again, what does it mean? Not compelling. Not something that's really going to motivate people and get them to rally around this. Step number 4, there are a lot of common pitfalls that people make in the effort to try and write a compelling vision statement. And number 1, as I've already said, is being too vague. Like the example that I said, to be the best in our industry. Vague. Not helpful. Doesn't really give you any direction in terms of where you're trying to get to. Number 2, lack of alignment. And so this goes back to, does it fit in with what our values are? Does it fit in, I think, with who we've been and who we want to be? And then number 3, and this one is very important to me because our trademark is business is human, is don't forget the human component. All right. You need to think about what's the potential impact of this on our people, what's the impact on our community, on our clients, because that human impact is actually going to help people to feel motivated to lean into the vision or not motivated to lean into the vision. So you have to ask yourself, does our vision meet these 3 criteria? Does our vision actually is it clear enough? Is it aligned with our values? And are we thinking about the people? An example of an organization that didn't get it right is a large retail chain that we worked with many moons ago. And they were undergoing a technological transformation, digital transformation, and they really focused very much on the actual technical side. And they didn't pause to reflect on the impact on people or how they were going to bring their people along. So what ended up happening is that they had a lot of people leave, and consequently, their initiative stalled. And so that's one of the reasons why you want to make sure you're thinking about the people, how you're going to develop their skill sets, and how you're going to bring them along. Step number 5, socialize the vision. What I mean by that is that you kind of sort of have to think about change management as a marketing campaign. Think about it. When you buy a new product, your friend tells you about it, you saw the commercial, you see a poster on the freeway, you're like, well, maybe that's something I might want to try. Very similarly, people need to hear about this vision statement in multiple ways, whether it's all hand meetings, emails, team meetings, one-on-one. Sometimes people need to read it so it feels real, so that they can actually process it. So again, communicate early, communicate often, and make sure that the message being given by different leaders is consistent, because people will notice those inconsistencies and then trust issues will arise. The next thing is to remember that everything that you do leadership is modeling for people. So everything that you do needs to somehow align with what that vision is. So if you go back to that technological example, and you're one of those leaders who says that technology is for everybody else, not for me, already there, you created the opportunity for other people to resist as well. So remember that you are being watched, and everything that you do, your daily actions and interactions, are going to actually support that vision or not. Lastly, figure out how to embed that vision in all of your processes and systems, whether it be performance reviews and the onboarding process, in your decision-making frameworks. Are we thinking about, when we make this decision, how that's going to support or not support the vision that we're trying to get to? Ultimately, the vision needs to be integrated into everything that you're doing, from procurement policies to employee incentives. You want to create a culture that's actually, I think, moving that vision forward in a way that's going to help to shift the organization in the way that you want. So, a silly cliche that is still always true is that you have to practice what you preach. And so remember that. So I'm going to start moving toward wrapping this up a little bit. And I want to underscore that a vision statement is not static. Your organization is changing. The demands on you are changing. The market is changing. And so it's something that you actually have to revisit constantly. Some organizations put it in the calendar and revisit it on an annual or a regular cadence. But some organizations are just paying attention to what's happening in the market, paying attention to what's happening internally, and using that as the triggers to decide when it's time to revisit and iterate. So the other thing that I would say here is it's really important to celebrate the small wins. On some of these big change initiatives that I've been a part of, people start to get demoralized. People start to feel like they're putting a lot of effort, but they can't see any progress. So every little win, celebrate it, acknowledge it, thank people. That will help to maintain alignment, momentum, and keep people engaged in the change. And then the other thing that I'll say is this, is that you just have to remember that everything, again, that you do and say is ultimately going to impact how successful that vision is going to be. So in conclusion, just remember that the vision statement is the foundation of any successful change initiative. And without that, people are just treading water. It really does give people clarity. It really does help them to feel inspired. It really does give them the North Star for determining where they're going when they're confused or when they're having difficulty. And so remember the 6 steps that I just gave you. And I want to underscore that we're always here to help you. If you're struggling with your change initiatives, please do reach out. You can connect with us on our website, DilanConsulting.com, where we're releasing blogs every single week or so. You can reach out via phone, 415-937-0621. And in January, we're going to be launching a series of 2-day leadership essential workshops. We're going to cover off emotional intelligence, how to use AI as a coach, just to mention a few things that'll be included in that workshop. So you can visit our website to get more information on that. So please check us out on all of our media channels, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.